Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, et cetera. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense.
So Cenk went on a Piers Morgan show talking about Dodge and Trump's tariffs. Now, look, I really don't care if you love the guy or you can't stand him. When he's up there with Piers, he does not back down. That's respect. He actually pushes back on all that MAGA mess and right-wing spin they try to throw around. Anyways, I watched the whole thing and I got some thoughts. So let's go through it together and call it like it is.
I just think when people look at Trump and think he doesn't know what he's doing, as you said, it's all chaos, blah, blah. I honestly don't believe that is the case. He's got some very smart people around him, not least Elon Musk. And wherever people think of Musk, when they say he's stupid, they're the stupid ones. He's one of the most brilliant minds in America. Now, he's a little odd, there's no question. By his own admission, he's a bit autistic. He doesn't behave in the way that we might normally expect our political leaders to behave, and he kind of is a political leader in a way. But what he's doing with Doge, for example, I imagine that resonates very well with most Americans if they keep finding clear evidence of waste.
Yeah, well, so the idea of finding waste, fraud, and abuse has been popular forever and ever. And in fact, Al Gore actually did a pretty good job in finding a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse during the Clinton administration. They cleaned it out, and Clinton was the last president to balance the budget. So there is waste, fraud, and abuse there. The place you would start is subsidies. There's like $30 billion in oil subsidies. It's just nothing but a robbery. I can show you robbery after robbery. Corporations pay money to politicians, and they get subsidies out. I despise it. So if that's what they did, they would be intensely popular. But what did he do instead? Oh, I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of people that came in last. I'm going to fire a whole bunch of people without even looking. And then that made it really unpopular. They've somehow found a way to make fighting fraud, waste, and abuse unpopular. It's now at 37% and dropping in terms of Doge's popularity. So there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I mean, you can make excuses about autistic, et cetera, but I need a brother who can think through a plan. Both Musk and Trump are like, I'll just throw it up against the wall and see what sticks. Well, that one stuck.
Is Elon Musk, is he underestimating the difference between, or misunderstanding the difference between the business world, in which he's been all-conquering, and the political world? In other words, some things may make completely logical business sense, but from a political standpoint, if you start to see the polls massively responding negatively, Trump's a politician now. He's not going to let that slide for very long.
Yeah, that's why he reined him in. So that's why I say he does A/B testing. He tries one thing. If it doesn't work, he goes to the next thing. And by the way, that is, to be fair to your point of view, that is a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan to say, well, look, I don't really know what's going to work, but I'll try this. And if it doesn't work, I'll retract.
Well, what I think he's doing, Winston, I think he's trying to force action to be taken to resolve things that have been unresolvable, right? The Ukraine war. I spoke to him a couple of weeks before he got inaugurated, and he was telling me that the Pentagon has said 100,000 people had died on the battlefield in the previous 6 weeks. 100,000. It's on both sides, right? He said it was based like a World War I killing field, with flat fields, and they're just killing each other all day long.
Hold up. Cenk made a solid point. We're out here giving billions in free money to oil companies that are already mad rich. That's not helping us people. We're just normal, regular people. That's not helping us at all. If you would ask me, it's just padding up these CEOs' pockets, making them even more richer. But if we're talking about cutting government waste, start right there. That's day one stuff we should be doing. Then you got Piers talking about running the government like it's a business. Man, please. A business can shut down when it fails. You can't do that with a fire department or a hospital. That's insane. We don't just shut off 911 because it ain't turning a profit or making money. Roads, cops, healthcare, those are things we all need, not things to make money off of. And no, Elon Musk can't run the government like he runs Twitter. That idea is just not smart, let's be honest. It's just dangerous.
He said it has to stop. Now, did he have the one-day fix? Of course, he didn't. No, I don't think anyone thought he did. Has what he's done since hastened a potential settlement? I would argue it has. He's got Zelensky to agree to the parameters of a peace arrangement. He's got to persuade Putin. That's the big test. We'll see if Putin goes along with it, or what Trump does to Putin to make him go along with it. But I do see method there. to what he's doing. Same with Israel. We're going to come to the Israel-Gaza situation a little later. But I do see, like the tariffs. He's always been on about tariffs, Trump.
Tariffs is his favourite word.
I've known Trump 20 years. He's always had a bee in his bonnet about tariffs and about other countries ripping America off. And so he's saying, right, if you're going to do this to us, we're going to whack you. And they're all blinking, by the way, these countries.
Yeah, I mean, I just would like to talk about tariffs because I think that's really important. As we're talking, a lot of what's happening in the stock exchange is because of his tariffs. Now, why this is really important is because he managed to appeal to working people in America, the forgotten, the Rust Belt, the flyover state people whose industries were gutted. I think we might have some agreement on this. These were left behind Americans. And they were left behind by globalism, by free trade across the world. They were the ones who suffered.
Indisputably.
Now, his ideas with tariffs, whether or not he can pull them off, none of us can know whether or not it will. But the idea is to bring back, to onshore those industries, encourage manufacturing. I would note Elon Musk has said he's going to double Tesla productions, increase manufacturing in America. This is done specifically for the working people of America. It's a reason why the unions, or at least uneducated unions...
He's a working class hero, Cenk.
No, nonsense. So look, here's the thing. Is he running as a populist? Yes, he ran as a populist. Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, etc. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense. You know it's not going to cover the $4.5 trillion. It's a giant giveaway. Look, he's a bit of a Trojan horse for corporate rule. So he rolls in as a populist. He opens up the hatch. And then next thing you know, Elon Musk and all the tech bros come out of the horse and go, give us giant tax cuts. Give us deregulation. Fire everyone at the SEC. Fire all the inspector generals. Why? Because we're going to rob the place blind. And then we'll give me a crypto reserve filled with junk. That makes no sense at all. So trillions of dollars in robbery headed in our direction. And who is it going to help? The average American? No, it's going to rob the average American to help corporate executives. So let's be honest about what's happening.